Welcome to a short demo of AEL Labs Studio platform and how you can use the platform to build an AI agent. In this demo we'll go through how to open the agent builder, how to scan organizational knowledge to give your agent some knowledge to work on, and how to teach your agent to use other systems or backend systems in your organization. This could be normally ERP systems or CRM system. We'll use some simplified versions to illustrate in this demo. And then we'll go through how to teach your agent to perform tasks upon these systems and with this knowledge. We'll go through how to instruct the agent, to how to behave in these APIs and systems and knowledge. And we're going to see how to adjust these instructions by adding a simple extra command and so on. And finally, after that, we'll test the agent and see that how you can verify that the agent performs according to your instructions and the knowledge that you have loaded the agent with. So let's start. In this case, we'll build an agent that has a text interface. Agent doesn't have to have the text interface. They can be totally back office systems. They can react on signals or be based on timers and perform tasks totally independent of or in conjunction with signals or API calls from other systems. In this case, to illustrate how to build them, we'll use a text interface. So to be able to build an agent, you need to be an administrator. As you see, I'm not an administrator in this window, so I don't have an agent builder. When I click here, I'm an admin, so then the agent builder appears. Now, to build an agent, you need to load it with knowledge. In this case, in this simple demo, we used our own web page to load the agents with knowledge. We set up this and scanned this web page and scanned all the sub pages. We went into scan the resources, the documentation, to provide the agent with some knowledge to start doing tasks with. This is a quite straightforward, often lights out, where you can set the crawler to execute on update and refresh the knowledge every evening, or do a single scan. In this case, you just add the URL to what you want to scan and load the sitemap file. You can also have a traverser if you want instead. There are other ways, and you can scan SharePoint sites, you can scan file archives. There's a number of different connectors in the system, and this simple will just ingest a website, and that's based on a normal web crawl scan. So then we have some knowledge scanned into the system, and we will then start working on building the agent. To do that, you open the agent builder and see we have an AEL sales agent that will work on. You give the agent a name and a description and a set of instructions. We'll get back to instructions later. And then you need to select what kind of large language model do you need for this specific agent. And you can select, of course, external providers or an internal provider, meaning the AEL, the AEL Labs Studio platform. And in that platform, there's a number of models you can run on premise, like DeepSeek or Llama 4. In this simple example, since I'm running the platform on my small laptop computer in a local installation, I'll select an external ChatGPT-4 and run on that one. So it works just as well when an external, if you have an external, or you can run an internal large language model in the platform. Then I want this agent to behave and don't be too creative, so I'm setting the temperature quite low. And there's a number of other parameters that can tune to fine-tune your agent. We won't go through that in this short demo, but that are available to set, and you can also set the level of effort that it's supposed to allocate to reasoning, how deep it should think, to put it short. And then you have your large language model configured. So it has an agent, a name, an instruction set, and a large language model. Then you start by giving the agent capabilities, tools, and actions, and that's where your backend systems comes into play. In this case, I want to enable file search. That means that I, as a user, can go over here and upload files into an archive, and that will then be added to the agent knowledge. So you can ask them to based on this document, help me create a new one, for instance. In addition to that, we give the agent some tools. So to give an agent some tools, you can select from pre-configured tools, a list of pre-configured tools, for instance, like YouTube, or you can add a calculator, or you can add different other pre-configured tools. For your own internal systems, you use the Add Action button, and when you click Add Action button, you get the possibility to set an authentication. This is normally done via an Open API token that provides access, and this API doesn't have to be accessible on the front end or at the user interface side. This will execute on the server side towards the backend system. So if the AEL Studio platform has access to the backend, that's enough, and it doesn't have to be forwarded to the front end services in the front of the platform. So a backend integration. You set authentication, and then you enter a schema, and a schema is an API description. So normally an APIs today are described in a standard called Open API. So if you look at an Open API, you might have a big API, but you only need to expose certain elements of it, or a number of functions to the AI agent. So in this case, we have made a sampler. We have enabled access to a search agent that provides access to search using hybrid search or using semantic search towards the scanned knowledge that we talked about earlier. So in this case, we have the documentation of the API, contains the endpoints, and each endpoint contains a description, in the standard Open API format. Now, to use that in the AI system, I don't need to write an integration and spend developer time on this. I can just simply get the API in a JSON format and take that with me over to the agent and paste that into the agent, the API description itself here. So I paste that into the agent, and then it starts finding out what functions are there. This is the semantic search that we talked about earlier, and it's a post method. It actually extracts that itself from the API description. It also finds the way to how to call it, and that means the AI system will write the integration code. It will write every code that's needed to be able to access that API on the fly based on this simple paste here. So that's how you connect an API to the system. In this case, I have added a number of services. We've added Tavily Search, which is a search function, most like Google search, but onto the internet. So we say that this agent is allowed to search the internet, and we provide it with the search string to get that search in a suitable format for the agent. We also provide it with the calculator, so it can can do calculations based on data points that you get in, and we provided it with two of our company APIs, the one that we talked about for sending email, or for performing the search, and then in addition to that, we give it the capability in another API to send email and to handle to create PDFs, documents, Word documents, and also provide download links for documents that the AI system has created. And this is used when you ask the agent to create a PDF of the dialogue or create some, and then we get it creates the document and provides a download link. And also this requires authentication, where you see the authentication settings up here. So basically then you have an agent that have gotten the capabilities you wanted to have. And then you have to instruct the agent of how it's allowed or how it's supposed to use these APIs and these capabilities we have given to it. And that's done through the instructions. And an instruction is quite easy to understand. It's written in normal language, but it's written in a specific way. And if you want to refine your instructions in a way, then you can ask AI to help you with refining the instructions. So if you want to add an please help me refine the instructions to the AI agent. I want to add that an email. Sorry for that. Email should be sent to sales at AIEmpowerLabs.com every time an email is a copy should be sent every time an email is sent. Here are my current instructions. And then you just take out the instruction that you have over here and paste them in. And you can just click and then AI will help you. And you see it refines an email protocol and defines that capability here. When using the email send API, ensure a copy was always sent to. So in that way, it's quite easy to update these instructions if you're not very familiar talking to an AI system. Mostly it's understandable by hand. So let's go through the file. If you look at the complete file, you can just take it out here and paste it into a markdown editor, and then you will get the nice and readable format of it. So let's have a look at it and see how it looks. Basically, you said it's a set of agent instructions. You state something around role and functionality. You're supposed to deliver precise contextual responses and gather relevant information naturally. Request only one piece of information at a time. Enhance responses with insight while ensuring so you give it some kind of a context on how to behave, and you say that this agent is supposed to be grounded on a primary data source, meaning the index we scanned, while seamlessly integrated additional insights using your tools. So that means that we give it the ability to complement it with the embedded knowledge of the large language model in addition to this index, but the index is the primary source of answers. So yeah, it's something about the behavior, be dynamic and conversational, respond in the same language, and then this thing that we had before, when sending an email, always send a copy. We also have a section on you build the kind of processes that you want your agent to execute on top of the APIs and on top of what we have here. Because in this case we had an API where we provided the possibility to search for knowledge, and another API where we provide the possibility to send email. Now on top of that, we want to build a kind of a pizza ordering, gathering some kind of business object before it executes on the APIs. In this case, extract key business details, while maintaining a smooth, friendly conversation. And it is sequential, because on one piece at a time, don't ask too much at the same time. And there's no fixed order, and they gather this, when a user provides the details, acknowledges and move to another piece when appropriate. So we try to give you some instructions on how to behave, and then we list the information that we want this pricing inquiry process to gather before calling the send mail APIs and so forth. So we wanted to identify AI use cases, identify the number of users and the company size and the contact person. And that's like what we need to do to start the sales process. We need to know who we're talking to and what are the basic use cases. So so then we're provided with an overview to make sure that the AI understands the total flow that we expect in this agent, and that's it. Quite understandable, quite readable for a human. So now we can go back here, and we have given the AI the knowledge from the index we scanned in, and of course you can have many indexes. You're not limited to one. An index is connected to, you can use an index to fine grain who has access to information. For instance, you can have one index for management of the company, one index for the sales team, one index for the general employee of the company, and one index for external like customers. And because this will then react what kind of knowledge AI should expose to the different user types or user roles. And you can use instructions, so you can have in the AI and Power Lab system, there's no limit to how many agents you can build. So you can have one sales agent, you can have an internal HR agent, you can have a management assistant, and a financial worker or a production planner, defined in the system with different knowledge and different access rights to them. So let's move on to testing this agent then. So we start a new conversation with the agent, and let's see how this works when we have built it, because that's basically all. You have done this, you have saved the agent, and then the agent is operational, and that's it. You give it the tools, select the model, give it the tools, give the API accesses, instruct it, then you have an agent. That's it. So let's test this agent. So let's ask it what does AEL Power Labs do? And yeah, we can see it provides a smooth answer that seems to be corresponding with the web page. If I go to the next one, I should have choose AEL Power Labs. Just a nice and friendly answer to that one, based on this scan knowledge, of course. Yeah. Next question: is there money to be saved? So what can you save money when you implement this kind of AI agent? Well, you can automate routine tasks like processing incoming email, or find out why you have what you should produce today in your factory, or do we have any problems with quality? There's a lot of things you can do. That's kind of a routine, heavy data load, a kind of repetitive and time consuming for humans to do. You can also improve efficiency, streamline processes, reduce errors, look at data-driven decision making, take a number of data in, analyze those, and provide suggestions for decisions, or actually do decisions, like processing incoming orders from customers, check them for if it's possible to do, or if there's anything that needs escalation, we can just acknowledge the order and create and accept the order. Yeah, it's scalable, and you can scale it. So how does it compare to competitors? It provides some somewhat tailored solution, focus on innovation, comprehensive support, user-friendly design, scalability, flexibility, and proven track record. All things extracted from the knowledge we have learned it. And if we now go and move into the business process we have defined in this system, and what does AEL Power Labs cost? So then we need to share. Then we need to share some information. Then So now it starts to roll to look into the instruction set and say, what do I need to know to be able to answer this question? Now we trigger the process we defined in the AI agent earlier. So in this case, I provide my contact email. My email is So now I have an email. We plan to use AI to plan production in our factory. The number of users you anticipate on the platform. We will be 10 users. So that means that that's it. Now it's gathered all the information. It then executes the business process and send an email with the information about the pricing. And also send the copy to sales, of course, that we instructed it to do. And that's it. That's how you build an agent. Quite straightforward, easy to do, doesn't require any coding. And behind the scenes here, it has instantiated the APIs, it has written the code needed to execute on the APIs and follow the API guidelines. It takes out the business object that we give it here with my email, the number of users, and plans to use AI, and loads that into the APIs as part of the data sent over, quite seamlessly without writing a single line of code. Well, thank you for listening to the demo, and hope you find it interesting. If you want to talk to us, just reach out at sales@aempowellabs.com. Bye bye.